so much for joining us on a live edition of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. This is episode number 93. So you can find us on facebook.com/LOL Ottawa. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us all over the internet, lunchoutloudottawa.com. And what we are is a podcast that talks to the people, places, and events that make Ottawa the incredible city that it is. So if you look back on our list of guests, we have the widest range. We have politicians, from university students to student newspapers, to a lot of the beer companies. We do love those episodes. And hopefully we'll have an interview with your new city councillor in this area, Jeff Lieber. So, who has joined us here. So thanks very much, Jeff, for coming and supporting such an awesome book in this area. So before we start and we get to Don and Jen, we'd like to hear more about the West End Co-op. So Nate, if you can tell us a bit about that.
Thanks so much. So my name is Nate Shields. I'm the general manager of the West End Co-op, which is the building you're in right now. So thank you all for coming. But mostly thanks to Don and Jennifer here for asking us to do this. We're more than happy to host the event. We think the book's an awesome idea, and it's very in line with our thinking here at the Well. Certainly at the West End Well, food is at the forefront of everything we do. Our tagline is nourishment for a change. But we are a cooperative, really focused on the social justice as well. So we look at the food as one way to bring people together and have them discuss various topics. But we also provide, obviously, meeting room space up here. We lease out office space to businesses with like-minded interests. And we have our grocery operational down there, and certainly some cafe, restaurant as well, and beer, as the gentlemen have there for them. So yeah, it's a cooperative. Anybody's welcome to join. You don't have to be a member to shop here, but we do appreciate your patronage however it comes. Please come in and see us as often as possible, and let us know. We're looking for feedback. We're brand new. We just opened 2 months ago, so it's still a very new enterprise. And as I say, the more events we have going like this will be great to sort of bolster our toehold in the community and help us go forward. So thank you all for coming. Thank you guys for doing this.
What is the cost to join the co-op?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a $50 lifetime membership. And it's not like a $50 gift certificate. It doesn't mean you buy $50 and you get a $50 product back. We're looking for engagement as really the return on your investment. So we want our membership to be really involved in what we're doing here, have a say in the educational programs. We're doing the artistic programs, events like this here tonight, and also obviously the patronage of the restaurant and cafe. But that being said, there are special benefits for members. Of course, being a member, you have an ownership stake in the business. So our profits are divided amongst our membership at the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
We also take preference shares, which we're doing right now, really a large investment campaign to try and ensure that we have our cash flow going forward for the first year, because the beauty of this business really is the community involvement. We bought the building. We completely gutted it and renovated it. It used to be 2 different businesses, a computer repair shop and a hair salon, so it's come a long way. But all that money is through community investment. We haven't had to take a single loan from the banks or any corporate entities. So it's been an amazing sign of really the commitment that people in the neighborhood here have to what we're doing. So those who wanted to invest more, and certainly we were open to that. We've had a preference share campaign going that ends on Friday. In which we were looking to gain $400,000 in preference share investments, which are a bit different than the regular membership investment. It's a bigger chunk, $500 or multiples thereof, but the return is guaranteed in terms of prime plus 3%. So a number of people were doing that, RRSP eligible transfer for that investment as well. So we have actually raised, I should say, our $400,000 goal. So we are happy to be moving forward. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So now we get to just run the business and make sure we find a way to pay all that back. So that's what it is. And you can sign up online at westendwell.ca, or you can come in and do it just at the cash. As I say, we don't demand membership for anybody to come in. We're really about inclusion here. So anybody who wants to come in is welcome to do so. And if there are people who find that $50 is an obstacle financially, I understand it is a good chunk of change. We're open to work exchanges as well in terms of paying in kind. So, and that goes for most of what we do. And so for the membership, there's a loyalty program, so the more you shop here, there's a direct return there. There's the ownership dividend, as I said, at the end of the year. And we also have a number of events that are either members only or discounted prices for members as well. So it's a great thing to be a part of. I think a lot of people are really excited. I certainly am. And again, thank you all for coming tonight and taking advantage of our services downstairs as well as up here.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Thank you guys.
Approximately how many members are you at right now?
Our members is already over 400,
Wow.
which is awesome. Our goal on our business plan was to have 100 members after 1 year. So to be at,
Well, blew that out of the water.
we did. We blew that out of the water before we opened. We were at about 250 before we opened the doors. And the response since opening the doors, of course, when people find it's tangible and they can physically shop here and do things, it became much more real for a lot of people. So yeah, it's been a flood since then of about 75 people a week, it feels like. So it's great. And I think the best part about that is the big reason we did this is to demonstrate an alternative to a lot of the food models that are out there right now. And rather than stand on the soapbox and scream, a lot of the thinking was we would just go for it and put bricks and mortar behind our thinking. And the response from the community shows that we're filling a niche and that there was a need for that. So that is as much reward as anything else. Of course, seeing that people actually wanted this to happen and that we were able to do it.
Cool. Is there any plan on capping out on select members, or sky's the limit?
Sky's the limit. Yeah, sky's the limit. Certainly. There's there was an initial plan to keep it really limited, just to keep the ideals really central. But when you've got that many people that are really interested and share the values that we have, then we don't want to say no to anybody. It goes for everything we're doing here. Anybody coming through the door is welcome to do anything that we're doing here, and we wouldn't say no to anybody, especially based on numbers, of course. So.
That's fantastic. And for those that are just listening and aren't here, the address is 969 Wellington Street West.
Wellington Street West, right on the corner of Somerset, and we're in behind Somerset Square Park. So sometimes when you're driving down the street, it's hard to see us, but big yellow awning on a blue wooden building, so keep your eyes out.
Another reason to visit Hindenburg now.
Absolutely.
Lots
Thanks
of great new events. I love it.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
And of course, Lisa is here and her friend June. And would you be able to tell us a bit about Octopus Books, because Don grew up with that. So.
Do I have to speak in the microphone?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Always support local bookstores and everything. So.
Well, thank you. Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm from Octopus Books. We've been around since 1969. I have not been involved with the store since 1969. I'll just say that before you ask. It made me feel old. I am old, but I'm not old enough to have been around since 1969 at the store. We were originally a socialist feminist nonprofit collective. In 1996, the board decided to change that model, and so then we had 5 owners, and now we have 1 owner. That owner is me. And what we do, I would say, when I was listening to Nick?
Or
Nick?
that was Nate.
That was Nate. When I was listening to Nate, I was thinking, we're doing the same stuff that the West End Well is doing. We're just doing books instead of food. So we're about social justice and equity and those kinds of things. So this kind of event is really important to us because we believe in food accessibility, and I know there's a better way of saying that, but anyway, we do lots of events. We have a little doohickey over here that'll tell you about all the events we're planning for November. Paige is our events coordinator. She's doing a fabulous job, and we're really excited to be part of it tonight. And
Thank
now
you.
I'm done.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot.
If I may, I grew up with Octopus Books because in 1984 my mother decided to go back to school at Carleton University, so she bought all her textbooks from Octopus Books, and I reused some of those textbooks when I went to school a couple of decades later. But the thing is that that logo, I remember as a kid, 6 years old, is Octopus Books, and then it's textbooks, and because of her books that I pursued a sociology degree.
Oh wow.
All right. All right, so we're all here tonight because we love the new renaissance in Ottawa of great, locally sustainable, interesting food. And we have many young, active chefs, well, young and old chefs in and around Ottawa that certainly I've seen collaborate each other better than any other city in this country, and just a lot of research that it proves true. We do so well, our chefs, on different TV shows, so we're always proud of them. And we have an incredible food truck culture, so I guess it's about time that we just naturally had to document it in a book to show the entire world how great we are. So I guess there's no better people in all of Ottawa to document than foodiePrints, Don and Jen. So we're here because of that.
That was very kind of you, Nick.
Oh no, you hear it a lot. I know you do.
So I guess we'll just ask you a few questions and then go to Q&A. But first, when did the idea of the book come to you? When was it first suggested to you?
You can take this one.
So actually, it was last fall, about end of September. It just an email out of the blue, and it said, "Hey, would you be interested in writing a book?" And the first thing I thought was, this is so a scam. So I actually ignored it for a couple of weeks, and then I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I should reread this email again. So I reread it, and I thought, oh, wait, it's actually for real. It's not a scam. And it turned out that the History Press, they are a UK history publishing company, but they now have an American branch, and they thought that over the years, Don and I had written enough stories, and thought that it could be made into a book. So I got back to them and I said, sure, I would love to do it. I hope we could both do it together. And they wrote back and said, absolutely. And we signed a contract by early December, and then we started it in about February 2014. And it was a very interesting 5 months that we did it in.
I bet. So how long have you guys been doing foodiePrints?
8 years.
8 years now, wow.
Yeah, we started Christmas 2006.
Oh, wow.
And so I guess, how did you decide initially to attack the project? Because that's a huge scope to document that, 30 years of food history of the nation's capital.
Well,
where do you start?
We were lucky. What had happened? Well, sort of lucky. What had happened was the publisher is actually producing a series of these books. You will find there's one on Niagara Food that just came out as well. They're documenting small food and cultural histories across North America. We are just one of this series, and we're very grateful that they asked us. But what had happened was they told us, you have 40,000 words, don't go over. So what we did was we pitched them an idea. We came up with a breakdown and a marketing plan, a breakdown of the book in 8 chapters. The chapters themselves, we decided the chapters would be standalone. You don't have to read the book cover to cover. We understand that people's time is very valuable. So you buy the book, put it on your coffee table. Someone else reads a chapter. Someone likes street food, you put a chapter on street food. Someone likes a chapter on farmers markets. There's a chapter on farmers markets. The street food chapter is very interesting. We have street food people in the audience right now, actually. Some of the very very brave and courageous pioneers that have brought street food to the city. So we had 8 chapters, and they agreed to it. So all we had to do is fill it in.
And they wanted also a contemporary look. But contemporary meant that they wanted it somewhere around the late 70s to present day, and I wasn't alive yet in the late 70s, I will just say that. And I don't really remember much of the 80s.
Well, my job.
Yeah, that was his job to find out. It was his job to tell me what food was like in the 80s.
So how did you go about researching, back obviously in times when you don't really remember or whatnot?
We spent a lot of time at the Ottawa Archives. The acknowledgement section of the book's actually very long. We did 31 interviews. Oh, wow. We did a lot of research from the archives, the Ottawa Citizen, Ottawa Sun. The Ottawa Citizen is actually the voice of history for Ottawa. The majority of recorded history for the city is documented by the Ottawa Citizen. If you go back in time for almost any subject, the story will be in the Citizen. But what we did was we just dug, and then we asked questions, we verified. We noticed that some of the stories that people told